Hello and welcome. This is Mouse Gunner, and we're back with some more Hearts of Iron 4, continuing on with my Nova Roma playthrough. So at the moment, I have a couple operations going on. The first one is attempting to capture Allied territory in Africa. So we have all this territory all the way down here, the Belgian territory over here, as well as South Africa. Now, that might take quite a while, but there are some good objectives that we can get here. First off, there should be some rubber in here. So we have our own supply of rubber over here, and then I see a little bit of rubber here. It looks like about it. Now, the rubber is important because we actually have a little bit of shortage of rubber, as well as oil, but we're going to have a couple things that we're going to be doing with that here. So that will be an important objective to capture. Now, the other objectives I'm going for are the islands in the Mediterranean that are being controlled by the Allies right now. So right now, I have troops in Crete trying to capture that. Then I'll probably move on to Cyprus, and then from there move on to Malta. Now, this isn't going to get me much in the way of resources, but it is going to... I get a little bit of resources over here, I guess. But it is going to close off ports to the Allies and hopefully push them out of the Mediterranean. And then eventually I may go after Gibraltar, which would shut the enemy out of the Mediterranean altogether. So that's the second objective. And then for the meantime, I think we're just going to be preparing for a possible war with Germany and its allies, so the Axis overall. But before we get started, we have a couple things that we need to get working on. First off, we need some focuses. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do prospect for oil. We already saw that we do need some oil. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, I should be also working on constructing... Oh, I guess I went through most of my construction queue. So this is another thing that we need to do. So I've got one refinery. Now, the refineries do give me some rubber. And I think from what I saw in Africa, we have the potential of getting another 6. But it still leaves us short of how much rubber we need. And obviously, that need will go up as we produce more war material, which is the other thing I'm probably going to be doing here is building more military factories. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and queue up some refineries where we can down here in the south of Italy. And I guess I'll put another one over here. And then I guess I'll go ahead and do some military factories as well. So anywhere that can fit one in the Italian territory, I'm going to go ahead and build some military factories. And I could change the order things are going to be built in, but I think I'm fine with this. We'll just get the things that need repair done, and then we'll move through and start working on the refineries and the military factories. We have a fair number of civilian factories, so I'm not really concerned about building those up anymore. But military factories definitely need to build up. All right, so the last thing I think I need to take care of is my air power, because I have a bunch of fighters over the eastern Mediterranean Sea, which I don't think I need there anymore because there's no fighter coverage. But there probably is stuff over here. Actually, I don't see anything over in Malta. I kind of assumed that there would be stuff in Malta. All right. And it looks like I'm going to have some fleet engagements down here in the eastern Mediterranean. So what I'm going to do is, do I have... These are all fighters. I think all my bombers are up here. Yeah. I don't think tactical bombers can attack ships, but the close air support sure can. So I think I'm going to reroute the close air support over here, and we'll see if we can do some bombing of shipping while we're here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab these 3 guys and rebase them over here. And then when they're there, I'm going to go ahead and... Oops. Tell them to go here, and we're going to give them a new mission. And that mission is going to be attack shipping. Okay, so that's good. Now we have a bunch of bombers here that are kind of sitting around not doing a whole lot. I think what I'm going to do is just reroute them so I don't forget. Now, the more than likely, we're going to want to attack Germany here in the near future. So I'm going to put a few tactical bombers over here. And then I'm going to grab the rest, which I think are over here. And I'm going to put them right here. These are not very big airfields, but they'll do. All right, so I think we're more or less situated. I'm going to go ahead and start things up now. So mostly we've got this big engagement going on right here to try and capture this port. And once that's done, I'm going to give my Purple Army another... Well, I guess I could plan for it. It's not a big deal. So let's go ahead and select them. Give them an offensive line. And we're going to be a little bit more aggressive with this offensive line. I think I'm going to have them come down to... Let's back that up a little bit. To there. So they should attempt to capture everything down to that point. And in the meantime, I'll just have them prepare for that. Now, it says that they're going, but they shouldn't be. And we're winning that fight. Okay, so we just got a research, which is the improving accounting machine, something that we've been waiting on here for a while. I guess we might as well go with the encryption decryption, because it's always important to have that. And right now, we just have our naval engagement that's ongoing. I'm going to go ahead and reroute my tanks over to this port, and then once they get there, I'm going to cue them an invasion of Cyprus. Now, as far as my navy goes, let's actually just select the fleet in question. Don't I normally see where my fleet is queued here? Okay, so... Oops, that's not what I want to do. It looks like they're mostly engaging Greek ships here. So, yeah, they're going to be working in the area of Malta in a second. Let's just confirm these are entirely Greek ships. Okay, so we'll probably end up destroying them. Okay. Took out a light cruiser. And we still have reported naval invasions in southern France, and then we have one that's claimed to be in the Middle East. I would imagine that would be against Turkey. But I don't know if that's really likely. Because how is this invasion going to happen? I guess through the entire Mediterranean. But I have my fleet covering. I have planes covering this area. So unless the naval invasion is somewhere else, but I don't see how they can reach any of my allies unless it's like through here into here, maybe. I mean, I have troops in the area, not a lot of troops, but I guess in theory. Okay, so it looks like we've managed to capture that area. I'm going to go ahead and let that movement finish just so that we have it. And then I'm going to make sure that all of the troops are assigned to the line and also assigned to this plan. You know, there we go. 20 divisions, so that should be correct. We also have a non-aggression pact from Japan, which I'm not going to sign because... Actually, you know what? I don't know. Are Japan part of the Axis? Let's see. I just don't remember. Yes, they are. So, no, we won't be signing any non-aggression treaties with anyone that's a member of the Axis because we're going to be going to war with the Axis powers more than likely. All right, well, these guys can go ahead and prepare for their naval invasion, which will probably take a little bit of time. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And then... I'll go ahead and have them land on the port. There's a possibility that there's enemy troops there, but I'm just going to assume no. So, there we go. And let's just make sure. So, southern France, I don't see anything. Middle East, I don't see anything. I'll just keep an eye on it. It does look like the invasion is queued to be somewhere over here. Again, I don't know how likely that is. The British fleet would have to move through territory that I'm watching closely. Okay, Trotsky survives assassination attempt, so that's Soviet stuff going on. Now, I hope to be the ally of the Soviets. Well, maybe not directly, but at least in a war against the German Reich. As a matter of fact, the whole idea here is to wait Oh, that's interesting. They're doing an alliance with Italy. Now, this doesn't actually do anything other than just improve relations between us. Our friend Turkey's not going to do anything for them, so if they go that route, that's meaningless because I already have Turkey on my faction, and once you join a faction, that's pretty much it. I've never seen the AI back out of a faction once it joins, so I think that's unlikely. And then war with the USSR is something that they could do now, it looks like. All right, well, we're just going to have to be patient and see what happens. Oil is still short. And we've got more naval reports going on. And how many days do we have here? 35. Okay. Seems pretty standard. So our ships are continuing to attack here. We've got submarines in the area, so I probably want to knock those out before I sent my army against them. Or my naval invasion against them. So we got some research going on. Again, we've got the Axis members trying to get me to have a non-aggression pact. It looks like the Siamese Empire went Axis. Yeah, it did. All right, well, I'm not too worried about stuff that's going on in Asia anyway. And how are we doing on the war? I haven't really checked this. So we've lost 335,000 casualties, which is, I guess, a decent amount. United Kingdom's lost 390. So we're actually pretty close on losses, although I would say for the most part, the Allies have been losing. I'm noticing that France isn't even on this list. I guess that peace deal kind of knocked them out of the calculated stats here. But the Netherlands, Belgium, Greece have all been knocked out, as well as Yugoslavia. So, and we're hoping to work on South Africa here. Some of the other allies are going to be a little bit tougher. And the Germans have pushed back the Allied advance. There was an Allied advance that went all the way into here. But they haven't made any advances on actual Denmark, because this is the border line here. There's usually these bolder, darker lines to show borders, like what we have here. And they haven't actually made any ground on Denmark at all. And then obviously none against Norway either. So that's good, because that makes the Germans have to worry about yet another front. All right, so now that we have that, so we're in 1940. We have improved infantry equipment to do. Nothing here, unless I wanted to do MPs or something like that. Armor, we're kind of getting to a point where I might think about doing lighter medium tanks here. And artillery, I'm not going to do rocket artillery, so there's nothing to really do there. Land doctrines, we don't have any more discounts. We're working on ships. Naval doctrine, we don't have any discounts. Air, doesn't look like we have any discounts. Nor air doctrines. Engineering, I guess we could work on that, get decryption. And then we're working on the last of this. So, honestly, I think it's either decryption or the infantry equipment is something I should work on. Where are we on other research? So we've got 31 days before this finishes. I think I'm going to go ahead and go with the decryption, because that can be pretty useful. All right, so we're continuing to engage here. Still claimed naval invasions, although now it's switched to... Nope, I didn't mean to do that. Now it's switched to Italy here. Now, I'm not really covering that area, so it is possible that that naval invasion could succeed. There's also the possibility that this will happen. I don't really have any way of preventing that. But I do have troops in the area, so... Oh, cool. We got a... There must actually be planes against me here. I don't know of anywhere else that I'm having... Looks like we managed to take out a destroyer. And we still have some days to go here. Let's go over to the Purple Army here. Looks like they're still preparing. Or getting troops into position. You know, one thing I'd like to do is finally get this fleet to merge with this one. But I can't because these guys are engaged right now. When a fleet's engaged like that, you can't really do much with them. Alright. And my one soldier that's holding onto this port is kind of getting a little bit surrounded here. That could be dangerous. I have to keep an eye on that. Continuing to attack here. Oh, wow. Look at all those British troops. I don't have any clue what their numbers are. So I think this naval invasion is actually a really bad idea. Maybe that was the naval invasion that was supposed to happen in the Middle East. These guys were supposed to come in and attack, but I have clear control over the Mediterranean here, so these guys are kind of stuck. But not knowing their numbers is going to be tricky. There's at least 3 divisions, which will make the naval invasion problematic. Alright, well, you know what I'll do? Is I'll switch. Close air support is going to be here. Yeah, well, actually, why don't I just click on the air region? There we go. I'm going to switch these guys from just doing naval strikes to also doing ground strikes. We'll see if we can suppress those guys a little bit. And then also, can we... First off, how big is this airfield? Pretty big. Can we... Okay, no. Close air support's all we have in reserve, and there's not enough to make another air wing. Alright, well, we'll just keep on these guys. See what we can do. I'm not sure if I want to reroute this yet or not. Did knock out some convoys, which is very possible that the convoys are troops. So that's good that that happened. Alright. Not seeing any of these naval invasions that are being warned, but, you know, we've been kind of watching that. Knocked out some more ships here. Got a bunch of submarines killed. That might be the last of it. Expeditionary force from Bulgaria I'm not going to accept. You know, I'm just going to go ahead and decline all these to just get them out of my... And I don't want Bulgarian troops, I'm sorry. I mean, I know that gives me more troops to control, but this time I'm just going to let the AI do their thing, and I'm going to do my thing with my troops. Alright, Purple Army. I don't care if you're ready to go or not, just go. At this point, you've been sitting there, there's no real opposition. Oh, we are being attacked here. I'm not sure if I should reinforce or not. I mean, this guy's winning, so don't really see a reason to do that. My allies are pushing down here. So I'll just go ahead and... let things go. I mean, my troops are advancing through here pretty darn quickly. Alright. Like my fleet also can see at least 2 divisions here. It's hard to say. Now, I could take some infantry and try and attack. Oh, speaking of infantry, we've got a single division here, which I think I'm going to go ahead and do nothing with. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new army, and I'm going to do that along the border with Hungary, probably. And maybe that Alpine division would work there well. On the other hand, I could just add it into the Green Army. All right. We'll add it to the Green Army. But any future soldiers that get recruited, I'm going to go ahead and add into... Ooh, good. I wanted this. All right. So these guys, first off, are going to join this army. And I think I'm also going to expand their garrisoning to Greek territory. So we hold on to that. And I think I'm just going to be doing that progressively, is getting these colonial troops over here. I'm going to probably need more colonial troops in the African territory eventually, but for now, I think that's what we're going to do. All right. I think we're ready to go here, but I just want clear intelligence before I decide. Matter of fact, I didn't pay attention to what research that was. I want to grab my fleet. So first thing I'm going to do is grab these guys. Then I'm going to grab my fleet. Actually, no, I want to do that the other way around, don't I? There we go. Then grab these guys. Have them merge together. And then I want an air report here. How are things been going? So, not really getting much of anything being told to me, but that doesn't mean that there isn't anything to do. I'm just torn on whether I should do the naval invasion as planned to attack the port or go here. The only problem with going here is if they fail, they have nowhere to go. I don't know if a naval invasion fails, you just lose the troops, or if they just go back into the transports and leave. That is one thing I really don't know because I haven't done naval invasions enough to really know. All right, well, I don't know exactly what it was. Oh, yeah, I do. It was excavation. All right, so we now are going to be doing the infantry equipment because that's pretty much the last thing for 40. I think I'm hesitant to do this because the tank divisions are pretty much, if I lose them, are going to be somewhat of a crippling blow because they take quite a long time to recruit. And I don't know how well suited they are to an engagement like this. But if I did that any other way, I think I could lose them entirely. So you know what? I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to do the naval invasion. I don't know how successful this is going to be. But I'm just going to tell them to go ahead with the plan. It's 5 divisions. I have no idea how many divisions are here. It could be quite a lot. As there were some pretty... Oh, hello. All right, so the British have attacked me here in East Africa. I guess that's the naval invasion they were warning me about. I'm just trying to see about the other naval invasion. So let's just go through. We know about that one. Italy hasn't hit yet. Southern France. Okay. So the main important thing is I'm holding on to the port. But I'm going to need to mitigate the damage that these guys are doing. So first things first, let's go ahead and strategically deploy over here. And then this guy... I know this frees up a couple ports here, but I don't really have a choice. I have to stop these guys. So I'm going to go ahead and strategically deploy over here. Get my guys closer. And I'll just keep an eye on this. When they move away from the port, I'll think about attacking them. And when I have more numbers... But they should be out of supply. Okay, so I just got the Pisa class. I'm going to be taking a look at that here in a second. All right, I have an opportunity to attack. I might as well take it. So these Turkish troops showed up to help defend. I think for now, I'm just going to keep this guy where he is. We can use him to attack later. This guy's still holding out. I'm hoping that my allies get there to help. And the rest of my army gets there as well. Alright, so research. I'm probably just going to keep with naval stuff. I have discounts to battleships, so I don't see a reason why to not use it. And as far as production goes, I think as far as naval stuff goes, the idea was to churn out light cruisers. And at the moment, we're working on a battle cruiser, and when that's done, we're going to switch high gear to producing the light cruisers. Speaking of things, we have some destroyers that we can add to our fleet. So, grab Italian fleet, and then grab these destroyers. That's actually a destroyer and a submarine. Merge them together. Alright, so we actually just passed a transport here, so it's possible that there isn't really that many troops here. Alright. Actually, I lied. That is an absolute ton of divisions. I was afraid of that. Well, I mean, in one way, they're trapped here. If I control the seas. The main problem is that I think that one convoy kind of slipped out. But I do have air power in the area. I do have my navy in the area. Possibly we caught them here. Again, I don't know what's going to happen here if these guys lose. I don't know if they'll just go back. And I don't even know if I can tell them to retreat if I wanted to. Yeah, so there just went the troops that tried to escape there. So these guys are pretty much stuck here. They're going to be... I don't know if they're in supply or not. But the main advantage I have is I have air superiority. I have the decryption advantage. And my troops aren't bad, but the big problem is I'm doing a naval invasion. They're really dug in well. It's just not going to go anywhere. Again, I don't know if I can tell them to retreat. No, I can't. So I guess they're just going to do their thing, and I hope they don't get wiped out. Looks like we managed to break that. Alright, we've got our attack that's going ahead. I don't see a reason why not to support the attack. Starting to win here. These guys should be out of supply for the most part. Alright, so let's check our other naval invasion. So East Africa we just saw. Nothing there. Then southern France hasn't happened yet. Or it may never happen. I mean, I think I've seen that. Okay, the oil thing's gone away because I think I finished one of the refineries. So we're now working on the rest of the refineries. That's not going to really solve the problem, but when we capture the rubber, which we're really close to doing that, that will more or less seal the deal for us. Okay, so these guys have moved over that way. I see no reason why not to support. I'm moving my own troops in. Alright, Denmark has capitulated. That's not news I wanted to see. I was hoping that they would hold out longer. The fact that they held out as long as they did, though, is amazing. Obviously, the Allies pushed on them hard. Alright, we're going to continue to bomb here and do what we can. It looks like we're continuing to engage things in different areas. Oh, I can do a modified government. That's very good. And non-aggression pact with Slovakia. Alright, so let's see what we can do here. Alright, so I do want some exports and imports, so I'm going to leave it on limited. We already did conscription. We're already on a war economy, although we probably could do total mobilization, which gives, I mean, more military factory construction, which we are working on a bunch of military factories, so that could be useful. We've also got research, and tanks are actually going to come into play very soon. So I figure we might as well go with a tank designer here. So we've got armor research time and armor reliability. I don't see any reason not to take this, and usually the research time bonuses are pretty darn good. This will be the last of our research, so I'm going to go ahead and take that. All right, so doing pretty good here. I think we managed to capture... Nah, not quite. There's just this one space here where we have to capture rubber, but we managed to push through Africa here. I am going to take the army and have them delete that, and then make sure that the rest of the army, make sure we have all of the troops selected here, is on this plan, because looks like they were diverted when the line got a little funky there. Hopefully we can keep pushing here. May have to redraw the line later, but eventually it will be drawn correctly. Looks like we've got an attack going here that we're going to help out with. And as a matter of fact, now that we've got our focus come out, prospect for oil, I think it's time to go ahead and put a cut in the video. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. This is Mouse Gunner, signing out.